Hi, everybody. I am Andra Annette, and this is CJC Boyd, and we are branches of prosperity. So, in my real life, I am a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert. I put women in a body they love so they can keep it. CJ, tell me about yourself.
Uh, Hi, I'm CJC Boyd. I am a wife, a mom of seven grown and flown, a former cafe owner operator who used to say I'm just fill in the blank. And when I got to the age of 50, life imploded and I was like, okay, I get to recreate myself. Who am I? So I decided to create Fuck Yes After 50 for women to just be able to dig deep, say yes to themselves, and say fuck yes to everything, the money, the travel, the weight, the work, everything that they want out of life. So that's who I am.
I think that's so important too. I mean, these are the times we really should be traveling more. A lot of us have raised children, or there was always something that came before us, to be responsible adults. We had to do the job, we had to raise, productive children, then colleges and all that other stuff. And this is the time of our life to really do all those things. It's not a bucket list, it's a now list, right? So
The
there's
live
not
it
much.
list.
Yeah, there's no more time left to be creating bucket lists. It's the do it now list. And I think that fuck yes after 50 really embodies that. Stop waiting, just start doing. So in our lives online, CJ and I do products and services. So we usually come in and we talk to you about our favorite products. And we've probably gone over this with you before, but now we're a couple of weeks in and we're actually testing the product. So we want to give you our feedback on that. So um, we did sign up with a new company, right, CJ? And if you want to know more about that, you can reach out to CJ or myself on our Facebook page. Again, she's CJC Boyd and I am Anjanette. But the concept behind these products are they're changing our inner chemistry, right? So when you're taking a pill and you're putting it inside of your body, you never really know what's in it. So this was made by doctors and scientists and a team of people that also knew what the market needed, because a lot of these people are also affiliate marketers and they see what's out there, and none of it really comes close to this. So the mitochondria of your cell is the building block of your cell, and all the dysfunction, the nervous system dysregulation, the need to be more, the need to have more, all those things really disrupt that. Our cells, the food that's out there, the economy, what's going on in the economy, the environment, and all the toxins in that, all of those things lay very heavy on our cells, right? So this is restructuring that and rebuilding that. So it's supposed to help you with lose weight, and it's supposed to help you have more energy and clarity. And what CJ and I were just talking about on another show is that everybody's having different results. So, but what's going on in your cells is very different from what's going on in CJ's and mine. So it really depends on where you're at in your health journey, or your stress, the stress in your life, or any of those things that really influence what's going on inside your body, your hormones and all those things, right? This does help with gut health and hormonal balance, because if your gut is balanced, your hormones are absolutely balanced. So everybody's having different results. So CJ, you want to talk about a little of what you're feeling with this new body?
Okay, for the body, I have experienced um I don't know if it's the nitro or if it's the body, but I've experienced like really deep sleep, like to the point where I'm dreaming and I wake up and I can remember the dreams. I can't tell you the last time that I've actually had a dream, let alone remembered it. So that for me is really great. And I feel like I'm sleeping so sound, so deep. I have an aura ring, so it keeps track of my sleep, and I've been sleeping for like 6 hours at a crack. Yes, I have to get up to use the bathroom, and that's the only reason I wake up. But otherwise, I'm feeling like I'm not moving at all in the night. I'm like laying like solid as a rock, sleeping for those 6 hours. And also, I have had experience with some inch loss and some weight loss. I have been doing pool workouts, so I know that that's part of it. Like my muscles and my fat, you know, compilation is changing. But for me, it's been one of those things where I feel like this was the missing link, so to speak. So I've been trying to do all these other things, and this is the thing that's helping me from the inside out, where other things were like a quick fix, like, make sure that I'm not snacking, make sure that I'm not doing this. And you mentioned it before, like the nighttime snacking, emotional eating. It just landed for me that I've not been snacking at night after dinner since I've been doing this. And I'm like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. Let's have a pint of ice cream, or let's have a thing of cookies, and I haven't been doing that. So that's really cool to have that, just me make the realization that it's been since I've been taking that's happened.
Well, this also increases the fat burning process, because if your cells are not dysregulated and they're not overrun with fat, then they can function in the capabilities they're meant to. So the cell, the mitochondria of the cell send cells out all over, like all these cells go throughout your whole body. So if one's dysregulated, it starts impacting the other, and there's crowding going on in the cell. So when there's all this fat from the food and all that stuff we're eating, the cell can't function and do the jobs it's meant to do, right? So I mean, I haven't noticed a lot of results yet. I was telling CJ weight loss, so I've been same weight and I want to stay the same weight. I don't want to lose weight. So, but I do have to try the products if I can stand behind them, right? So, I could always put on pounds, right, if I take off. So, but I do see more energy. I do see better sleep, like you said. I hadn't dreamed in years either. I haven't been having them nightly. But I did have one, which is a big change for me. I didn't remember it. But I did see things happening in my night, right? Where I haven't done that in years. But I just feel like I'm more clear. Like, I do a lot of things for my business, and I'm someone who has to get up and move and do things all the time. I can't just sit and do that. And I found that my attention span is better with this.
Awesome.
I'm usually in that multifaceted person where I can be in 5 books at once and go from this one to this one, just so I don't get bored with anything. Well, this is happening over here. How can I move this over here? And what can I do over there? And like I always have all these moving pieces. And lately I feel like I can focus on one thing at a time, which is super big for me, right? I mean, because I'm always, you know, so that's what I notice, and that's what I really like about it. And I don't know if that's the nitro or the Nuva body, but then I definitely have more energy, and I'm definitely not I'm a chocolate freak, and I've gotten to the place in my health where I could have my chocolate. Um and I'm not really saying, oh, I'd like something sweet either, or snacking, you know. So that's big. And I think that, a lot of what we do in our health is connected to our emotions. And when something takes that away, it's easier, you know, because this is working in my body without my knowledge. And everybody in America has dysregulated cells. I want to tell you that right now. We can't, even someone like me who's been trying to eat clean for 15 years now, there's always something that's going to sneak its way, and unless you're reading every single label. And who really has time to live like that? Nobody. I don't know if I shared this with you. Like I have protein powders, and I think I shared this with you, CJ. And there was this point where I started feeling really bloated, my stomach hurt, and I said, "What the hell is going on?" And I said, it's got to be something I'm eating. What new do I have in my house? And it was a
Right.
protein powder, and it was loaded with soy, something I hadn't had in God, well over a decade, right? So they snuck it in. They said it was gluten and soy free, but it wasn't. I found it in there. So, but that's because I know it doesn't deal well in my body. So you have to be like on top of those things too. We all do, because they're sneaking all kinds of stuff into the food we eat, right?
Right.
But um this just makes me feel like more normalized, I guess, is a good way of saying it. Because with
Yeah.
the thyroid, I'm always bing, bing, bing in here, bing, bing. you know, and if I'm on the low side, I'm like, oh, I got time to make the donuts, you know. It's, you know, mine goes back and forth, but I feel very normalized. I feel able to focus on things, complete tasks in a quicker time because my attention is in that one place and then move on to the next thing. So it's making me more productive in my business, absolutely. Um, this is still in the beginning, like we're 2 weeks into this. So some people have lost inches. But I wouldn't market it as a weight loss product, even though they say that it helps you lose weight and it burns fat and everything. I haven't seen that. So I can only judge it by what it does for me. And CJ and I were talking about this before also, that because of our differences, where we are emotionally, self-esteem, you know, predisposing factors we have from family and genetics and all those things, what we've been doing in our lifestyle up until now, those are all going to play a part in not just the results and outcomes, but how quickly you see them, right? So someone who's been eating like crap for 10 years is not going to see the results that, if any, right away when someone than someone who's been on that journey trying to take care of themselves, and this is just like a jump off on that, right? Because you know, I do use products in my own life. You know, I'm not that vitamin girl, and I am holistic, but I have beet powder in my house. I have turmeric powder. I have all those things that can help enhance what I'm doing in my day-to-day life because they're necessary. I can't eat 3 to 6 pounds of fruits and
Right.
vegetables a day. I just couldn't. I'd be walking around like this all day.
Right.
So you do need some kind of supplementation, and whether that's in your powder form or um, something, you know, to help you, whether that's through support, however that comes, right?
Right.
I mean, when I started my journey, I couldn't touch my toes, so I did have to turn on YouTube and say, okay, what are they doing for their health? What's happening over there? What exercises are they doing that I can't do yet, right? So it is where you're at in your life, right? Um,
Right.
and just
And I
take,
think
yeah,
I think the beauty of it is that it's fixing you from the inside out. It's healing what's inside, and everybody, like you said, it's different on the inside, but we get to be intentional about what we're putting in our bodies. And in my head, I just keep saying it's a supplement. It's supplementing to help me figure out my routine so that I can get to the space where my body is operating at optimal health. It's
yeah.
not a quick fix. It's not a instant gratification. It's not an instant result. I'm going to use this to help heal myself from the inside out, and then I can be conscious and intentional about my choices from the outside in.
That's the word, intentional. You do have to be intentional about your journey too. So there's not a pill on the markets that's going to change your composition by itself, you know, and even if it helps you a great deal, you still have to keep up with that unless you want to be locked into that pill for life, right? Like all the people that they're giving these medications for weight loss today, it's taking away their appetite suppressants. That's all they are. And
Yeah.
when you remove that irritant, so to speak, it is irritating the way you think about food at this moment. When you remove that, you're going to go back to what you were doing. So will it, unless you learn how to eat now, right? So the intention is the big word to use here. You know, you have to be intentional. While something's helping you on the inside, you're feeding the outside. You're giving it what it needs. You're going out. You're doing those walks. I see you doing the laps in the pool. I see you out on the boat, your husband on the water. So you're getting out because all that's part of it. A lot of times people think that health is just the movement, just the eating, that socialization, that does help us blossom. That helps us in so many other ways. It does help us with our self-esteem, feeling loved, feeling valued, getting that positive feedback, all those things we get from those supports around us. That also helps us, right? So all those things are part of who we are. So intentional about that too, getting outside and enjoying life while you have it, you know,
Yeah.
'cause pill or not, none of us promise tomorrow. So that's something to keep up front, right? None of us promise tomorrow. Any last words, Miss CJ? So we're just coming in to drop a few things and then we're out of here because we love
I
you,
just want
but we got work to do.
I just want to say it's the whole package. Like I keep going back to that, we get laser focused. Like when I was way overweight, I was laser focused on losing the weight, but my mental health was crap. Or, I was so focused on building my cafe that I was eating a comfort bowl every day and I gained 60 pounds because my stress level was next, over the top. So the whole package. Give your body what it needs and then supplementation wise, and then make the choices. Be conscious about the intention of what you're doing, but it's the whole package. Wellness is not just, losing weight or building muscle. It's about your mindset. It's about, like you said, socializing. It's about finding support systems. It's about finding joy. It's the whole package. It's not just a one size fits all mentality thing.
I love that, especially the finding joy. So we want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching us on Branches of Prosperity. So I am Andra Annette, and this is CJC Boyd, and to your health. Have a great day.